Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving into an electrifying AI debate you won't want to miss. On one side, we have Speaker A, ready to argue their position, and on the other side, Speaker B, geared up to fire back with their own points of view. The topic for today? Is LA fire natural? But that's not all. We've got two AI judges to give us a score at the end of each round. Judge A's all about pure logic with no emotional bias, while Judge B will factor in both the facts and a little feeling to their scoring. How will they rate these arguments? Stick around to find out. And we will reveal the total points at the end.
The question at hand is whether the La wildfire is natural. I firmly believe that the wildfire is indeed a natural occurrence, though it is important to understand the nuances involved. First, wildfires have been a part of the Earth's ecological cycle for millions of years. In fact, many ecosystems, including those in California, rely on periodic fires to thrive. These fires help in the regeneration of plant species, clearing away dead brush and allowing new growth to emerge. In California, for example, certain species of pine trees, such as the lodgepole pine, actually depend on fire to open their cones and release seeds. Second, while human activities can undoubtedly increase the frequency and intensity of wildfires, they do not negate the fact that wildfires can, and do, occur naturally. Lightning strikes, volcanic eruptions, and even spontaneous combustion in dry conditions can start wildfires without any human involvement. Historical data shows that wildfires existed long before modern human presence in California and other fire-prone regions. So while the La wildfire may have been exacerbated by human actions, it is fundamentally a natural phenomenon. Fires have always been part of the Earth's natural rhythms, and they are essential for the health of many ecosystems.
Thank you, Speaker A, for your argument. However, I must respectfully disagree with your characterization of the La wildfire as purely natural. While it's true that wildfires have been a part of Earth's history, the nature of modern wildfires, including the La wildfire, cannot be understood without considering human influence. The main issue here is that climate change, largely driven by human activities like fossil fuel consumption and deforestation, has drastically altered the conditions under which wildfires occur. The frequency and intensity of wildfires today are far greater than what we saw in the past, and this is a direct consequence of human actions. The La wildfire, like many others, has been fueled by prolonged droughts, which are now more common due to global warming. Additionally, human negligence, such as poor land management practices, illegal burning, and even the building of homes in fire-prone areas, has contributed to the severity of these fires. While lightning strikes and volcanic eruptions are natural causes, human-induced factors like urban sprawl, excessive water consumption, and the warming of the atmosphere are pushing wildfires beyond their natural limits. The La wildfire is therefore not just a natural event, but a man-made disaster amplified by human negligence and climate change. In conclusion, while fire is a natural phenomenon, the wildfires we are witnessing today are no longer purely natural. They are the result of a complex interplay between nature and human actions.
While I agree that human activities, especially the effects of climate change, have intensified wildfires, I still maintain that the La wildfire, like many others, is rooted in natural processes. You rightly pointed out that climate change has made conditions more favourable for wildfires, but this does not mean that wildfires themselves are unnatural. Fires are a natural part of ecosystems. They've existed for millions of years and continue to play an essential role in maintaining biodiversity. In fact, many species are adapted to thrive after fires. What we're witnessing now is a combination of human-induced climate change and the natural phenomenon of fire. It's a complex situation, but the fact remains that without the natural fire-starting mechanisms like lightning or spontaneous combustion, we wouldn't have these wildfires at all. Human activities are undeniably a factor, but they don't negate the fact that wildfires, in their core essence, are a natural occurrence.
While I understand that wildfires are part of the Earth's natural cycle, I must emphasize that the scale and intensity of modern wildfires are not what they were historically. Yes, fire is natural, but it's the unprecedented frequency and ferocity of these fires in the modern era that should raise alarm. The Lai wildfire, specifically, occurred in an area where human intervention has been significant, whether through land development or inadequate forest management practices. Furthermore, the impact of climate change is undeniably linked to human activity. The rise in global temperatures, caused by the burning of fossil fuels, has dried out vegetation, making it far more susceptible to catching fire. This is not simply a case of nature taking its course. It's the amplification of natural forces by human actions. In essence, while fires may be natural, the human-driven changes to our environment are making these fires increasingly dangerous and destructive. The La wildfire, along with many others, exemplifies how human actions have altered the natural balance, turning what could be a routine natural event into a catastrophic disaster.
You raise valid points about human influence on fire conditions, particularly the role of climate change and human development. However, I believe you may be overemphasizing the idea that wildfires today are entirely a result of human activity. Let's take a closer look at history. California, for instance, has experienced large wildfires for centuries, even before modern climate change. Native American tribes managed land with fire for thousands of years, and wildfires still occurred even in those pre-industrial times. This shows that wildfires are part of a long-standing natural cycle. Additionally, while human actions have undoubtedly influenced the conditions under which fires occur, it's important not to conflate this with the idea that the fires themselves are unnatural. Fire is an ecological process that helps maintain certain ecosystems, and it's essential for the regeneration of many plant species. What we are seeing now is more extreme, but not necessarily outside the bounds of natural behaviour.
While I appreciate your perspective on fire as a natural process, I still maintain that the scope and intensity of current wildfires are far beyond what was historically typical. It's one thing for a fire to occur naturally in a forest, but when fires rage through suburban areas, destroying homes and displacing thousands, we have to ask ourselves, is this really the natural role of fire in an ecosystem, or is it something more? You mentioned Native American land management practices, which I respect, but it's also important to acknowledge that modern human interventions, such as deforestation, land development, and unsustainable water usage, have created conditions where wildfires are more destructive. Human negligence, from ignoring fire risks to inadequate response plans, exacerbates these natural events. Yes, fire is part of the Earth's cycle, but we are now at a point where these fires are no longer functioning as they once did, and this shift is driven by human activity. The La wildfire, therefore, is not simply a natural event. It is a crisis fueled by our actions, and we must take responsibility for that.
You've presented a strong case for the impact of human actions, but I still hold that the core of wildfires, including the La wildfire, is natural. While human activities may worsen the conditions under which these fires occur, the ignition of fire itself is a natural process, whether through lightning strikes or other natural causes. The increase in frequency and intensity of wildfires may be a side effect of climate change, but we must remember that fire itself is an essential part of maintaining healthy ecosystems. It clears out dead vegetation, promotes new growth, and helps manage pest populations. By focusing on human responsibility, we risk ignoring the ecological role that fire plays, one that has existed for millennia and is not inherently negative. In conclusion, the La wildfire, while affected by human actions, is still a fundamentally natural event. We must focus on mitigating human impacts while respecting the natural role that fire plays in the environment.
I respect your view that fire is a natural process, but I cannot overlook the clear and dangerous amplification of this natural process due to human actions. Yes, Fire has always existed, but so have many other natural processes that are now being disrupted by us, whether it's storms, droughts, or floods. Just because a phenomenon is natural doesn't mean it should be happening at the scale and intensity we're seeing today. The La wildfire wasn't just a natural event. It was a man-made disaster worsened by climate change and poor land management. The role of humans in this event cannot be dismissed. Fires may be natural, but the catastrophic wildfires we face today are not.